5 years later, and we are finally into the 6th generation of Samsung's flagship folding device. And needless to say, the expectations for a massive change from Samsung is definitely there, considering the growing competition in the foldable space. Is this the time we see something special, or is Samsung still comfortable and confident with their position and development of their foldable devices? Now, with the introduction of the Z Fold 6. Hi, Ben from SamMobile. If you enjoy new and exclusive videos like this, then be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos on YouTube with SamMobile TV. Here is our quick hands-on and thoughts of the Z Fold 6 and what's new. Let's take a look at the design, and I have to say this is definitely the area we are expecting the biggest focus and change from Samsung when it comes to the Z Fold 6. 3 new colors take the stage: Silver Shadow, Pink, and Navy. The pink is definitely an interesting addition, as you would think this would be a color option, more part of the online-only exclusive selection, but I will say it does look very nice alongside the Silver Shadow, but I think most would gravitate towards the Navy color as a safe option. Addressing what has probably been the biggest request for Galaxy Fold users is the outer display size, aspect ratio, and overall form factor of the Galaxy Fold when opened and especially when closed. Happy to report that Samsung has listened and made the necessary changes that we've asked for. But the real question is, based on my first hands-on, are these changes really a difference maker or not? More time is needed, and indeed we'll tell, but for now, the outer display is 1mm wider compared to the Fold 5, and the height is 1.4mm shorter, allowing for a new aspect ratio for the outer and inner display, and also taking the outer display size to 6.3 inches. Only time will tell if this change is really enough to make users feel the difference compared to what they had before, but for now, this is definitely a change, and I'm here for it. Everything else about the design is all in the finer details, all adding up together to make what is probably the best feeling foldable yet. The feel of the phone is lighter thanks to a reduction in weight by 14 grams compared to the Fold 5, now at 239 grams, which is definitely noticeable. The finish of the phone is even more premium with a matte finish, and this finally applies to the armor aluminium frame, which not only feels better but makes for a more cohesive look, feel, and a product that just handles fingerprints like a dream with no smudges in sight. The new dual rail hinge system is better improved with a smoother but yet tighter, well put together feel that opens to a straight locking position that is rigid and feels uncompromising. Plus, there's now a new IP48 rating against the elements, taking this a step further from the IPX8 rating we had previously, further showing how committed Samsung are to a top level build, durability, and design when it comes to their foldable products. With the enhanced armor aluminium frame, all matte finish, the use of Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 for the front and back, and all the additional improvements and changes to the form factor, Samsung have done a decent amount of work here. Again, time will truly tell if this is enough. For the display experience, as stated, the outer display is now 6.3 inches with a newer, slightly wider and shorter aspect ratio. The brightness is now set to peak at a max 2600 nits, which is great to see, and all the goodness that we expect from an AMOLED display from Samsung with 120Hz and excellent colors. There's still no S Pen support for the outer display, if that is something you were actually expecting to see this time around. Now, the inner display is still 7.6 inches in size, but the improvement to the protective layer of the inner display and build structure means the crease is less visible in sight and feel. Another thing I did notice, or actually didn't notice as much, was the under display camera. Samsung didn't actually mention anything about improvements to the performance or lack of visibility of it, but it felt like it wasn't there at all, making for an even more all-screen experience. S Pen support is still available on the inner display, as with the use of the Fold edition of the S Pen, and it's also safe to assume everything else about the display experience is pretty much the same unless stated otherwise later on from Samsung when we get to our reviews. For the specs and performance, we now have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 mobile platform built for Galaxy chipset, just like found on the Galaxy S24 Ultra, with 12GB of LPDDR5X RAM and the option of 256, 512GB and 1TB of fast UFS storage. Battery capacity is still at 4,400 milliamps with the same 25 watt wire charging, 15 watt wireless charging, and power share at 4.5 watts. This is one area we were expecting Samsung to have at least found a way to increase the capacity to 4,700 milliamps, considering the brighter displays on hand and also the new chipset. But maybe they are confident in the optimizations, better cooling with the larger new vapor chamber cooling system and chipset to see it through for a better battery experience. Again, only time will really tell if that's actually going to be the case. Now, on paper, when it comes to the camera hardware setup, things are pretty much the same when it comes to the Z Fold 6, which is using a 50 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 10 megapixel 3x zoom backed with a 4 megapixel UDC for the inner display selfie and 10 megapixel selfie for the outer display. That being said, I'm happy to report that finally the ultra-wide camera can shoot in 4K 60. There is still no ability to switch between the three rear cameras when shooting continuously in 4K 60 unless you actually stop recording and change lenses. But for now, this is a much needed upgrade to the ultra-wide camera. Not much else was said for the improvements to the camera system on a hardware level, so expect further testing to see if this is the case when it comes to the software and image processing for photos and videos. But for now, the fun and experience of using a camera system on a Samsung Foldable is still here and strong. Software-wise, we are running Android 14 with One UI 6.1.1 on the Z Fold 6. If not live already, then be sure to check out our dedicated software breakdown on SamMobile for all the latest and greatest when it comes to One UI 6.1.1 on the Z Fold 6. For context, the nature of this hands-on session was spread across 7 new products from Samsung with roughly 45 minutes to an hour in total to get hands-on, use them, and record. So needless to say, it wasn't everything we could actually test and showcase, all based on the nature of the environment and how the phones were set up. That being said, there is a lot of focus on Galaxy AI software features, which we've come to know from when it was first introduced on the Galaxy S24 series, but now improved, more bespoke, and tailored to the Fold experience. From improved circle to search, which can translate languages, read QR codes, and more. Better smart select features with sketch to image features on your photos, new air commands with the addition of sketch to image, improved interpreter mode taking advantage of the multi-screen form factor of the Z Fold 6, and better live translate and chat assist. It's safe to say that Samsung are all in on Galaxy AI and want to take it to the next level with the Z Fold 6. Pricing for the Z Fold 6 based in the UK does see a slight increase from before at £1,799 for the base model at 256, £1,899 for the 512, and £2,099 for the 1TB. Pre-orders start from the 10th of July with general availability from the 24th of July 2024. Is this enough of an upgrade, or were you expecting more from Samsung? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below on the Z Fold 6. For the latest news in the world of Samsung daily, be sure to visit us at SamMobile.com. And for the latest videos on YouTube with SamMobile TV, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, and we will see you next time.